I'm Eric Fritter-Riley.
And I'm Roland Potpourri Lewis.
And together, Potpourri and I want to introduce you to the Tree of Life as it exists in Washington, D.C. So the origin for this project came about 6 years ago or so. And I had originally seen this crazy website produced by a church in Colorado. And the people in this church did a diagram of Washington, D.C., and the Kabbalistic symbolism embedded in the streets. And so I took it upon myself to map out a plan of those streets and go on a walk to explore the Tree of Life in D.C. And, you know, Potpourri and I are part of the Radical Fairies. We're also part of the D.C. pagan community. And so both of us felt really interested in doing this project. And so that's why we're sharing this film with you.
So, one thing I'd like to add as a preface. When we did this video, how many years ago? 5 years ago?
Maybe more, yeah.
Yeah, 2009, maybe even 2008. At that time, in our interpretation of this Kabbalistic Tree of Life map, Fritter starts it off with 16th in New Hampshire.
Yes.
Keter, which is like heaven. We identified as approximately around 16th New Hampshire. As our understanding of the map enlarged as we progressed along through the day, we realized that many of the circles and squares in the city fall into the Sephiroth. So, what we did not realize was that the major Sephiroth of Keter, which is heaven, which is at that spot around 16th Street, is in fact Meridian Hill Park, Malcolm X Park, which if you go to, you will see terraces, fountains, statues of deity. It looks like Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
I kid you not. And so heaven is therefore, in D.C., the place where the hippies have their drum circle every Sunday and sun themselves on the lawn and basically look like the Greek version of paradise.
Yeah. So in the Kabbalistic tree, this would be above Keter in the limitless light area. And I just love the fact that we live in the limitless light.
Yes, we do.
Yes. All right, so without any further ado, let's go on a journey. This is, if you're looking at the Tree of Life in the Kabbalistic diagram, this is the path that the light, that limitless light, the Ein Sof hour, flows down as it approaches Keter. This is the intersection at 16th U Street and New Hampshire Avenue, and this has been identified by that group as the source, the Sephiroth Keter. Let's take a look around and see what we have here in the crown. Let's see some businesses, traffic, bus stop, and let's see, oh, a Starbucks, and another apartment building over here, the Balfour. So I think I'm going to go to the Starbucks and wait for enlightenment, or whatever comes my way. So this is stop one. So we've left the Starbucks, I mean Keter, and now we're walking toward Logan Circle. Logan Circle is identified as Chokmah, the seat of wisdom, Sephiroth of wisdom. I just wanted to pause for a minute to show you the facade of the Mount Gilead Baptist Church. I think that it's really beautiful, but also too, I love this stained glass window with the holy chalice gleaming there in the window. So one thing that's interesting about this is as we approach Chokmah, Chokmah is identified as a bearded man, but it's also the point in the Kabbalah where the supernal powers begin to split. As you leave Keter you create oppositions. So we're approaching the male, but you can see also embedded in this the chalice as the female. All right, it looks like I'm gonna get the light. And give me the light. There we go. Okay. So here we are approaching Logan Circle. As I mentioned earlier, this is the Sephirot associated with Chokhmah, or it's the Sephirot Chokhmah associated with Logan Circle. Chokhmah is identified as an old man with a beard. I'm going to cross it around to the other side, but take a look at some of the statue on here. I'm going to do a swipe around the other side of the building. Let's pause for a moment. This is the south face of the monument to General Logan, and you can see not quite a beard, but a very full mustache, very 19th century mustache. But I also love the architectural details of the warrior goddesses here. So I'm now leaving Logan Circle. Oh, well, I guess I'll be leaving Logan Circle once the light changes. So I mentioned that this is the second Sephirot. Now the thing that's awkward about this whole arrangement here is that the distance between 16th and U Street and the Logan Circle is not a straight line. It's very much not a straight line at all. In fact, it kind of winds around and around. Where it does actually start to make more sense, logistically speaking, kabbalistically speaking, is on this street, P Street, which is a straight shot directly across to the next circle we'll be going to, DuPont Circle, which is identified as the Sephirot Bina, the Lady of Sorrows. So let's go to DuPont. Oh, by the way, I'm here with my friend Roland.
Yes.
And she's
also
here to.
Potpourri Sachet.
Yes, she's going to be helping me out on the journey.
Yes.
She's just joined me as I was crossing through Chokhmah.
Yes. I have come down. I've come down well, not the actual ley line, but I zipped down 14th Street, and here I am on my bicycle, and we're at DuPont Circle, the queer epicenter, what has been known as a queer epicenter, where all of us fabulous queers hang out. And
Indeed.
sun ourselves beside the water like basking lizards.
So this is DuPont Circle. You can see the fountain there. And this is the correspondent point on the Tree of Life to the Sephirot of Bina. Our Lady of Sorrow is one of her names. This is the point where as you exit here, you start to get down into the material plane. This is the last of the supernal triad, those things that exist in spirit only. So let's actually pause for a minute and we're going to cross into the circle. So here we are in DuPont Circle in the Sephirot Bina, the Sephirot of Understanding, and look at this gorgeous fountain flowing away. We're going to take a couple of little detours around the circle to the north. We're going to look at the metro tunnel, and then we're going to head south, I believe down Massachusetts Avenue.
Oh, okay.
To head to the sphere of Da'at.
Oh.
Yes.
What is Da'at?
Da'at is the missing Sephirot.
Oh.
The one that we need to fix.
Is that where that big circular plaza is with a person on a horse?
I think it's Scott Circle.
Yeah.
We'll check the map and find out.
Yes, that's the one.
All right.
When I've been there, it feels funny. It does feel like something's missing.
Yeah.
On Mass Ave?
Yeah.
In the middle of Embassy Row?
Oh, no, down towards the middle again. We're going to keep circling around 16th Street.
Okay.
All right. We're going to pause and then we're going to open up again at the metro tunnel.
So here we are at DuPont Circle Metro. We're right north of the fountain, right north of DuPont Circle itself, which as we said was Bina, Our Lady of Sorrows. And here, all around the circle, all around the outline. And it's something that was composed by Walt Whitman to memorialize all the fallen soldiers of the Civil War as he tended them and got his thrills with them because he was a very wonderful, clear elder. Now, even while that clearness is all around this, notice the shape of this color here. Notice that how it's very receptacle shape. What we actually have here is a cervix. We have a gigantic cervix. It's very brown. You know, it's a vagina. It's a gigantic vagina. You go down this side, you go down that tunnel, and as you're going down this long, long tunnel, you're going into the womb of the earth. You're like keeping a seat. You're like fucking. You know. Somehow the city is fucking the Lady of Sorrows here at DuPont Circle. So as we observe that fountain there is Our Lady of Sorrows, and here is her vagina. And as people come out of the vagina into the realm of the Lady of Sorrows, they come out through this enormous great canal, and then they emerge, and the sunlight hits their faces, and they emerge through this circular opening here into fabulous clearness. They are poured out of the womb and come into purgatory.
Here we are in beautiful Scott Circle. This is the missing Sephirot. This is the Sephirot Da'at. It's the Sephirot of knowledge. The knowledge of the tree of good and evil, right? And so one of the interesting things to note about this particular park is that there's no real entrance to it.
We walked all around and we couldn't find like a crosswalk, and so it was bounded all around on all sides by chariots of fire in the form of cars that we couldn't get. We had to wait till they passed by and snuck in. We didn't see any angels with swords, but if we had, well, maybe we could have convinced them to have an orgy with each other. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, okay. All right, so now here we are. We're at the place of knowledge, in this garden that was really hard and difficult and impossible to get into. And so, as that website said, you know, we're these horrible Satanists, you know, running the federal government. Clear as all get out. So here we are. Hey, I have something right here. See what I have here? I have two apples. And I'm going to give one to this boy here. So now here we are in this place of knowledge, this Sephirot of knowledge.
Da'at.
Yes, Da'at. What kind of knowledge is this?
Carnal knowledge.
Yeah. So we're going to eat this apple. Both of these apples. Fritter, what's behind me?
The White House and the Washington Monument.
So I'm sitting here tranny munching on an apple. Here's the White House in the background.
With a great phallus behind you.
Great big dick over my head. Glorious.
Glorious
Now
indeed.
we're sitting on a ley line. Fritter, tell us about the 16th Street ley line again with all the churches.
Okay, so 16th Street is like the heartbeat of the city. It's the core meridian that runs from the top of the district, the diamond point, all the way down through and out the other end.
Uh-huh.
And
wait, did you say out the other end?
yeah, I did.
Oh. You know what that sounds like?
What?
It sounds really pornographic. That's what it sounds like.
Indeed, it does sound really pornographic. But so that's where the energy flows down into the city. And actually, if you go up 16th Street, there's dozens and dozens of churches and mosques and synagogues and Hindu worship temples and everything.
You mean that way?
Yeah, north towards Maryland.
Yeah.
So if you come down 16th Street, you'll follow this line of prayer that goes all the way back down to the White House. It's pretty amazing, actually.
And speaking of prayer, I was floating, when I was on my bicycle riding down 14th and 16th Streets, I was doing a lot of praying to the goddess. I was like, goddess, keep me safe, these people can't drive. Goddess, keep me safe.
Amen to that.
Oh yes.
All right, so we're gonna head out of here and on to the next Sephirot, and that one is Hesed.
What does that mean?
It means mercy.
So here, Fritter and I have stumbled across this this statue of a stag. We're walking down the path towards Cassette, and we're descending into the physical, apparently.
It's got a penis.
It does?
Yes.
Where?
It was definitely male. It's got a penis on it.
Wow.
So we're heading back to the Pillar of Mercy, which is often represented by male figures. And being covered with glorious king stag. We're on Massachusetts Avenue and Thomas Circle. And it's glorious. Isn't this a beautiful...
It's very glorious. Where's its penis?
Oh, it's down here. You can see it's got penis and testicles.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Very horn
Maleness,
god.
Virility.
So we've run. This is the horn god, isn't it?
It is the horn god. And actually, I don't think we got to take a picture of it while we were at this circle, but there are very voluptuous female figures at DuPont Circle.
Oh, yeah.
In the fountain.
Oh, yes, there are.
Yeah.
Here, let me come around there.
So, yeah, make sure you get a good shot of the penis down there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really big cock.
All right.
Wow, it's long.
Donated by the Idaho Building Contractors Association. Hail the horn god.
Hail the king of the hunt.
So here we are. This is McPherson Park, and we're at the intersections. Well, it's actually not at an intersection. It's between 13th and 14th and I Street and L Street. Is that right? No, K Street. I Street and K Street, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no J.
Which we'll get to later.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to talk about that. But the interesting thing to look at is this layout in the park is actually in this, I want to call it a quatrefoil design, but that's not exactly the correct term.
And I think this is definitely a power place. I don't know what cassette means spiritually, but this is such a beautiful park. It's such a beautiful garden. And there's this gigantic fountain. This is one of the biggest places that we've seen outside of DuPont Circle, I think.
I agree.
And look, it's a beautiful pool that's collecting algae in it. And I think that's a shame. There's all these tall trees that you can see around here. And we're pointing out this design that has four different shapes. Oh, they're the same shape, but they're four different, it's like a circle that's been broken up into four parts. Here, there, and there. Now, if you look at the inner part there, it works in the exact opposite way. Where there's gaps here, there, and there, there's bulges there around the fountain. So it's very complementary shape, and I think it looks really beautiful. This whole park, it's like an amphitheater, like a basin. It's all leading down into this basin. And what does cassette mean again?
Mercy.
Mercy.
Do you know what? Actually, that's really quite interesting because this particular park is a big congregation park for homeless people.
Yes.
And it's oftentimes where they'll have sandwich distribution
Exactly.
and soup kitchen stuff.
All these Sisters of Mercy type people, they come here to this place, which symbolizes mercy. And there's almost nothing but homeless people running around here. And it's not kept up. It's beautiful. But the only people who come here are people seeking mercy.
Yep.
And I guess that's fitting.
I think so too.
And this whole thing, they're trying to poo-poo this occult thing, but it's actually serving a purpose and actually helping people. So laying it out this way. Now, we think this is the actual thing. We're not at the intersection of 13th and H like those kooks think it is over there. We're going to look at that, because I guarantee you there's not going to be anything as merciful as this.
No, I don't think so either.
I think this is the real thing.
I think so too. So here we are at the intersection of 13th and New York Avenue. The DC Street Sorcery webpage says that this is the Sephirot of Chesed, mercy. As we said before, I believe that it's, Potpourri and I both believe that it's somewhere else. So these are all these people just walking by, don't worry about them. So this is the intersection here. We've got a couple of churches around here. We've also got the McDonald's right here at 13th and New York Avenue. And we're gonna take a break and get some French fries. So we'll come back to you guys in a few minutes. So we're on the path between Chesed and Gebura, the path between mercy and severity or strength. And we're at 15th Street, which is almost near the middle here. And the middle is the White House. But the White House is still a bit further south from where we are. And the Treasury is kind of situated almost exactly on that 16th Street line.
And so we're noticing that it's almost exactly in the middle between mercy and severity.
Right.
And so we're thinking about what that means. It's a weird coincidence. It's almost like they did place it there on purpose. Like, there's a balance. Our country's monetary power is, they've tried to balance it between mercy and severity, except it's a little bit more on the side of severity.
No, it's more on the side of mercy.
More on the
actually.
side of mercy?
Yeah, because mercy is the sphere from which we've just come, and we're heading towards the middle pillar, which is on 16th Street.
Okay.
Okay, so it's actually more on the side of mercy, but just barely.
I think that's funny. That's
think
really
so?
interesting.
Yeah.
What did you say this was?
This is Lafayette Park.
We're in Lafayette Park, and we're on our way to the pillar of power/severity.
Yes.
And I thought it was really appropriate to stop here because right there, right behind us, there's a protest going on. And a woman has just approached us to talk about power, to implore us to go to people in power and to seek the power to stop torture against people in many different countries.
Particularly, she was talking about the Tamil situation in Sri Lanka.
And that torturing and killing those people is a real example of severity. They've come from mercy. People are imploring mercy for these people who are being treated severely. And I think that that is amazing. We're at that pillar of mercy. We're heading towards the pillar of power. And look what we have here. And behind me, you hear the woman imploring Obama. She's calling out Obama's name because he has power.
Well, we're directly in front of the White House, too. And the White House is actually another one of the nexus points. It's another one of the Sephiroth. It's Tiferet, the point of splendor.
And we'll see that later.
Yeah, we'll see that later, but this was a really important point to stop and make, is that this crossbar, this path that leads between Chesed and Geburah is a huge nexus point, and this cross point with 16th Street intersecting it is exactly where we are. You know, so this point right here, even though it's not listed as a Sephiroth, is a very important point along the journey. And
because as we're getting here, this is where this power and severity and this whole thing, this is amazing. I mean, this is what this pillar represents. We're almost there, and look what we run into.
Yeah. Well, this is the center point right here. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're right down the street from the Treasury building. The way this is beginning to work out is amazing to me. It really is amazing to me.
I totally agree.
There's something to this. I mean, look at this. Look at that again.
I'm sure he's expected to come to the United States to meet Obama. Obama should never touch him. He should shake hands with this guy. Enough is enough.
It's the stage says we remember the victims of torture.
We know
that torture is power severity.
Yep. Alright, so here we are I don't even know what the name of this park is, but it's at the intersection of 19th, Pennsylvania, and H. And this is the sphere of Geburah, which is the sphere of strength.
It's an actual sphere.
It's an actual sphere. This circle right here, I had no idea it was here. It's actually also circumscribed by a larger one. And across the street here is the World Bank. So you want to tell us about the World Bank?
The World Bank is one of the most powerful organizations on the planet. There's numerous protests here. The World Bank controls all the former colonies of the planet. And many people allege that they do so that they don't do this justly. That there's been a lot of criticism of the World Bank for just taking control of everybody's country, and this is the World Bank. The World Bank is actually huge. This whole entire area is the World Bank campus, but this is the World Bank,
Well, and also too, the interesting thing to point out, I mean, is that this is the pillar of severity, you know, and with the actions of this agency have severe repercussions on other countries.
Very.
You know, I mean, to the point of like, you know, destroying or completely rebuilding a country.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too that as we were coming up here, we were noticing that this park is actually two separate parks. It's not just, there are two little triangular pieces that split down the middle by Pennsylvania Avenue. And so the Pennsylvania Avenue actually becomes this divisor, you know, in this particular Sephora.
Right.
So, I mean, if anything is a symbol of strife or problem, as this often is represented in tarot, then that division between in this particular Sephora is it. It's interesting too that this is laid out in cardinal points with cross-border points marked as well.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Let me see. Yeah, there they are.
It's north and south, and then cross-border points laid out.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
An
Right.
actual sphere.
So here we are at the White House. The White House is apparently the corresponding point for Tiferet, which is the Palace of Splendor. It's also, according to Dion Fortune, the place of sacrifice. In the mystical tradition that she comes from, they often talk about Jesus in this particular point. It's the point of the sun. And it's a crossroads between a number of different Sephiroths. And the line from 16th Street goes shooting directly into this.
Yeah.
The lines from Chesed, Gevurah, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod all flow into this. It's really a nexus point for all of them, really.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about the White House?
Not really.
I think it's pretty self-evident.
I think so too.
Yeah. Have you ever been inside the White House?
No, have you?
I have, just once. I went on one of those special tours that
What
they
was
do.
it like?
It was full of small furniture. Like, I don't know why, but it looks like it's really huge, but the inside is actually like all these very small partitioned rooms.
It's probably all Louis Cannes furniture.
Oh, probably so. Let me see if I can get a shot through the bars here. There we go. No bars on the White House. Splendor.
There it is.
There it is.
Alright, so here we are. We are at Freedom Plaza. This is Tiferet.
No, this is the sphere of Netzach. Yes.
This is Netzach, which means beauty.
Yes.
And it also is apparently considered by Aleister Crowley to symbolize excess and indulgence.
Well, at least in the Seven of Cups card.
Seven of Cups. And we found ourselves in the middle of a national pork barbecue championship cook-off.
Yes, let's take a look at the Pork Barbecue Festival. There's rows and rows and rows of barbecue people hawking their wares and hoping to win best pork barbecue. I guess in the city, I'm not sure.
Unfortunately, I think we're not going to find any tofu. I asked the firemen over there for some barbecue tofu, and they said, no ma'am.
So this plaza is actually really amazing because it's actually constructed to be a design, the actual original design of the city as it was laid out by L'Enfant. And this grassy patch over here is the ellipse behind the White House. And if you look at the construction where that skateboarder is, the engraving and the brass in the ground there is actually the schematics for the White House itself. And then each of these little pieces here shows the avenues that L'Enfant originally designed. And down here we have the compass rose actually pointing in the exact directions of north, south, east, west, and cross borders.
I still want to ask one of those people to borrow their board. I remember when I used to be a skater girl.
Oh.
In high school.
but we're in Rollins Park. Oh, and I want to make a correction that the park that we were in earlier was not McPherson Park, the one with that quatrefoil design. It was actually Franklin Square instead. So the sphere that we're in now is Hod, which is the sphere of Mercury.
Which is also a
hermaphrodite. Of course.
Here we have our fierce tranny.
Yay! And so we've got this. We've got this park is actually really quite interesting. It's very beautiful. We have these green little reflecting pools here in the middle. There's a lot of tree cover in this particular park, and there's this beautiful fountain in the middle. And you can see the sphere right there, you know, that all the water is flowing out of. And that's really about all I've got to say about this particular one. The next sphere that we'll be journeying to is actually within the grounds of the Washington Monument, but we're going to take a break and try and find a Starbucks and recharge the battery to the camera.
A little bit more about where we are.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you said this is Mercury, and it means what?
This particular one, Hod, means. Oh wait, what did it mean? Okay, we just looked it up. Okay, so we're actually using Dion Fortune's The Mystical Kabbalah as a reference book here to show the path of the Tree of Life and to figure out what the hell we're doing. So we're in Hod right now, and the title of Hod, what it actually means in Hebrew, is glory.
Okay. All right, I've got one.
Okay, what's glory?
Okay, look right there.
What are we looking at?
What is that? What does it say on that building?
That is the Department of the Interior.
All right, now, look over here.
Okay.
Now, I somehow think that maybe we could get glory out of the interior, because the Department of the Interior is what administers all of the national parks all over the country, all the stuff with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, all the, you know, everything having to do with the glorious natural environment of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And they happen to situate the Department of Interior at the Sephiroth that symbolizes glory. So, I mean, I guess that fits in some way, doesn't it?
I think it does. I think the other thing that we would think about in this particular Sephiroth would be, since it is Mercury, it is about...
trannies.
Oh, yes, it's definitely about trannies.
Woohoo!
Oh, and that ties into the Bureau of Indian Affairs with the
two spirits.
with the two spirits, the Winkte.
Okay, we can make that stretch.
Yeah, I think we can make that stretch just a little bit. All right, so we're in this little grove. We're approaching Yesod. We just left Hod, which is the sphere of Mercury, and we're approaching Yesod, which is the sphere of the moon. And its title is Foundation. And we found this interesting little grove. The sphere is actually supposed to be somewhere on the grounds of the Washington Monument. And you can kind of see in the background there, it is, but it's between all these trees. It's kind of hard to tell, but once we leave the grove, you'll see it probably very clearly. The thing that we're supposed to be approaching is called the Jefferson Pier Stone, and it's the original, one of the original pieces that helped to lay out the plan of the city. And it's the sphere of Yesod. But I found this little grove, and I just had to stop and take
trees.
Yeah, it's true. We do like trees.
Yay,
Earthy pagans we are.
Green.
Yeah. All right.
Woo! Okay. Last thing is that when we get to Yesod is always very special to us, because when we went to a Hecate ritual a couple of years ago,
it was that autumn magic.
It was that autumn magic, and the phrase "Yesod Queen" has been stuck in my head ever since. So
because this queen was stuck on Yesod.
Yes, I was.
She didn't come back.
Yes, I never did. I'm loony. So when we get to Yesod, I guess we have to be loony queens.
Indeed.
Now, this is the second to the last Sephiroth.
It is the second to the last.
When we get over there, then we're going to head from there straight over to the Jefferson Memorial, around all those trees and cherry blossoms that are not there anymore. All over, it's over there somewhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Right down that way, past the engraving and printing building.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so here we are. I'm sitting on top of the pier stone.
This is the Jefferson Pier Stone, and this actually has a quattro cross, four-armed cross on top, and an equilateral armed cross on top of the pier stone. And if you follow it, this is pointed north, and if you follow it, it leads you directly to 16th Street and the White House. And that's the fountain in the Rose Garden. It's not the Rose Garden. That's one of the fountains in front of the White House.
Yeah.
And we're on the grounds of the Washington Monument. And this is the 16th Street ley line, indicated very much so by this post. And the eastern quadrant leads to the monument here.
No.
No? It's a little off.
Because I'm standing directly here like this.
Uh-huh.
And what's in front of me? I can't tell. There's a hill.
Yeah, there's a hill. I don't know what's on the other side of the hill.
But that's the I know it's there. Straight that way is the Capitol building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Capitol building. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because we're standing in the middle of the section of the mall. The lawn, the big rectangular mall, is that way.
Oh, right. And if you follow the line from the Washington Monument, it leads down to the Capitol building on the mall.
Exactly.
And
it's actually not from the Washington Monument. It's from this stone.
It's from this stone, right?
It has to be.
Right.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's got to be that.
I think so too.
This way. Oh, look. Oh, look. Come here, look. Okay. Stand right here.
Okay, so I'm facing exactly west.
And look what you see.
That's the Lincoln Memorial and the World War II monument, which is our new Stonehenge.
Oh, really?
Yes, actually, if you watch, you could probably, I don't know exactly how it corresponds with
our
the sun.
New Stonehenge?
Yeah, I mean, like, have you seen this monument up close? It's totally a henge.
Oh,
but they had to split it in half because it would have obstructed the view of the monument from the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
And the reflecting pool, so it would have totally changed the look of it.
Memorial.
Yep, the Lincoln Memorial right there.
It's slided off of this stone.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There we go.
And so we're at Yesod.
Yes, this is Yesod. Yesod is the sphere of the moon.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I'm filming your tits. I didn't mean to film your tits.
Well, you can. Here, zoom in close up.
Oh, okay.
See, there's my tits.
Okay, all right. So we're at the sphere of the moon, and as we mentioned before, this is a sphere that's very deep in our hearts because of our experience at Autumn Magic and the Festival of Hecate. So here is Potpourri straddling the pier stone as if it were a giant dildo. Awesome. All right, so we're going to take our trip now and we're going to finalize the journey. We're going to cross the Potomac.
Yes.
And go to the Jefferson Memorial, which is...
look. Oh,
Malchut.
Here, look.
Yeah, there it is, right there. Actually, you can see it in the distance.
Look, it's sighted directly off of this. Come look.
Yep.
Look there.
Yep. My legs are directly on the monument, and you can totally see.
Down.
Yep. Oh, okay. So
now
here
you got
I am.
your ass on the stone.
Yay! It feels so large. I don't know that I can take it.
It's so big and hard.
Oh. I wonder who this group of people is that I'm filming. The world may never know. All right, so we're off to Malchut. See you there. So here we are. This is the final Sephira, and Malchut is the one Sephira that's separated from the rest of the tree. And this monument is separated from the rest of the city.
And there's something I wanted to point out. I was looking around at a lot of the inscriptions that are on that wall. And there's one I thought that was appropriate for Malkut. And it's the one that was directly over there. That one.
The first one that I shot.
The first one that we shot. That was referring to trying to progress from where our barbarous ancestors were to something better. So I thought that was very appropriate to Malkut because it symbolized progress and trying to elevate our status to be worthy of all those things that are over there.
Absolutely, and the journey that we take, I mean, we've done the lightning flash, which is the journey from the endless light down into Malkut, which is the physical creation manifestation.
And it's gigantic.
It is gigantic.
Oh my
this
God.
place is huge.
Wow.
But the reverse of that journey, the serpent's path, is the journey that leads us back to the power and the glory of God him or herself.
Where home is, so we can sleep.
Yeah. Yes. Potpourri and I both live in the limitless light.
And I live up in Lesbianville at the top of the limitless light, the very top of the diamond. So now we've got to get home somehow. We're all the way at the bottom. And now I was speculating as we were walking along here, why in the world did they put this monument all the way over here? I mean, this is really way the heck far. But you have to wonder if they didn't do this on purpose in order to correspond with this particular Sephiroth.
I think it might have been.
You have to wonder.
Yeah.
And some of those others, I mean, some of those things that we discovered in this journey, it's an amazing journey. We thought this was going to start out being a really whimsical, fun, wonderful trip, and it has been. But at the same time, we've had some big, gigantic revelations, like where the Treasury building sits and where the World Bank sits, how they correspond to the Sephiroth that are right next to them. And those things just blew my mind away. What is symbolized by that journey across in front of the White House, you know, from mercy to power, for instance. Mm-hmm. And here we are at Jefferson, where Jefferson was a human being struggling with moral ambiguities about slavery and statehood and what his country was going to symbolize, while at the same time they were about to engage in the most brutal conquest. I mean, from the time that Jefferson helped to set all this stuff up, as soon as they declared independence, they went out to literally conquer a continent and commit genocide and exterminate all the native people that were here in order to set up slavery in most of the places that they conquered.
But part and parcel of this too, the flip side of that, I mean, is the fact that the founding of the country was also built on this huge amount of idealism. Mm-hmm. You know, that all men were created equal.
They were struggling. So they had that. They built that in. That left them a way out. And you have to wonder about that, because here we are here in Malkut, and we're living. This is like physical, base, everything. But it's the place where you lift yourself up. So from the basis here, from these ideals that Jefferson has enthroned around us, this symbolizes how, even though, you know, we have a foundation, mm-hmm. we have a lot to improve upon.
Absolutely, and so the path that we take.
And so this is what our country's done.
Yeah, but the path that we take can be either side of that coin. You know, that, I mean, one of the things in Kabbalah is that there is the side of, you know, beauty, you know, where you rise up through the Sephiroth in, you know, glory and splendor. But there's also the dark side of it, you know, where you fall into these traps, the cliffoth. And
what's cliffoth?
Cliffoth.
What's that?
That's the dark side of the Kabbalah. It's the mirror image, reverse of each of them. So each of the Sephiroth have their own light and dark sides to them. And so what we were just talking about right here, you know, here in Malkut, the physical and the ideal, you know, being two sides of the same coin. Each of that can be said of any of the ones that we walked through today. But here, it's the most real because we've got so much history to show both sides of that coin. I think it's amazing.
It is amazing.
All right, and with that, we have to wrap it up. So
here, give me the camera.
Yeah.
So I'll take a picture of you against this blue background. There you are. So this is what I've been looking at just now. So Fritter is standing against the blue sky. Here's all these gigantic pillars. And now we're going to sign off. Thank you for going on this journey with us.
Yeah, thanks
It's
for
been a
walking the
really
tree.
fun trip. We walked the tree of life, and now we're tired. We're resting on the earth plane now.
We have indeed hit the plane of Earth.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.